Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, to this second installment of our Epilogue episodes, exploring our characters in our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, City by Night, more closely. In the following, we will find out more about Esprea's past, present, and future, as well as some drama between Esprea and her sire, Treadora. I'm Arya, and I'll be your humble storyteller this evening. And I am joined by the one and only Katiko.
Hello, I'm Kiriko, and I'll be portraying the role of Esprea. Tonight, we'll be exploring the beginning of her journey into becoming a vampire.
We open to a young woman waiting in the Wagogo Botanical Gardens late at night, waiting for someone to meet with her. It's approaching midnight on October 30th as Gloria Frost, Toreador, meets with Esprea to discuss plans of the sanctioned embrace. Gloria, soon to be Esprea's sire, walks up to Emma sitting alone at the table in the gardens. And in a dark little corner away from prying eyes and ears, she sits across from Esprea, also known as Emma. And she sits down and gauges her body language and how she's doing. She says, "So how are you feeling? Nervous?"
I suppose you could say that. I mean, who wouldn't?
Don't be like ever that. Everyone's going through it. It's tradition. Can't really do it legally any other way.
I know. I just feel like something's gonna go wrong.
That's just your nerves. Don't let it get to you. Come on, the sun is going to rise soon. And well, unlike you, I can't stand the glare. Esprea and Emma walk out and start to stare over the horizon. The mood is bleak, but Gloria understands what she needs to do, and it's all hopefully going according to plan. She walks in a blissful direction and says to Esprea, "Don't worry. Everything will go according to plan. It always does." And she very briskly walks away from Esprea, leaving her to her own devices. A day and night pass, and the moon begins to rise. Esprea wakes and gets ready towards the gala, where the sanctioned embrace was determined to take place. Esprea starts to head towards the gala, but before she can get there, a lurking Nosferatu had other plans. She pounces upon her, knocking her out and dragging her to a nearby park. This Nosferatu, Treadora Santiago, named aptly as a name-meeting traitor devours Esprea. She turns her into her own, a hideously disfigured Nosferatu. Esprea then wakes sometime later. She's dazed and confused and hungry. A shadowy figure appears before her, makes us as known as Victoria. Esprea is unfortunately dazed and struggles to comprehend and understand what this person is telling her. And before she knows it, the shadowy figure disappears. Once Esprea comes to, she gets a look of her surroundings and heads to find shelter from the rising sun, from the little that she could grasp from what Victoria told her. She needs to find shelter, otherwise she will perish. Can I get a wits and awareness roll?
Wits and awareness? Yeah. Is that including hunger?
Yeah.
Alright. I'd say my hunger is like 4.
You're newly embraced. For the purpose of this, we'll just keep the hunger at 1.
Okay.
But yeah, we probably need to find something to feast on. Otherwise, you will grow hungrier very quickly as a newly embraced kindred. But yes,
That is 2 successes.
2 successes.
Yep.
You look around the park, and you don't find any really landmarks or anything of note. And so you go in search of some sort of safe haven or some sort of place to take cover for the night. You manage to find an abandoned highway ditch underneath one of the main roads. It's reasonably dark there. And inside, there's a sewer grate. Not having many options. You open the sewer grate and pretty briskly jump down and find a abandoned sewer facility where you can take shelter from the sunlight for the night. The day passes, the sun sets, and a new night begins. Esprea wakes from her unusual slumber. She wants answers, so she heads to the last known location where she might be able to find answers. The local Baron's headquarters. Upon arriving at the Baron's headquarters, she discovers that the place has been abandoned. Completely barren. Left empty. And now, with more questions than answers, she mutters to herself.
Where's everyone?
Where?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where is everyone? Why'd they leave? Where'd they go? They were here yesterday, no?
You investigate the place. You look around, you try and get some sort of clues as to where everyone's abandoned or fled to. Give me a intelligence and insight roll, including your hunger.
Ooh, critical success +1. So what's that? 5?
That's oh, so you got a
One
pair of critical successes?
Yeah, so I got 1 normal unk and 2 unks with stars.
Yes, so the critical you've got the pair of successes, which makes it 4. Then you've got a single success. Yeah, it's 5 successes. Yeah, with that information, you look around and it's hard to tell, but there are various calling cards in the residence. Upon surveying the area, there are some blood stains on the walls. Very subtle scratching marks. There's evidence that, for whatever reason, this place needed to be abandoned, but you still don't know why.
Yeah.
In the time that's passed since that fateful night, Esprea has spent her time searching for information about what happened that night. Remembering a certain someone by the name of Victoria. Maybe looking for her would be a good place to start. Esprea gathers information and is able to determine that Victoria resides in the city of Sydney. And so through various means, Esprea makes her way slowly but surely and safely to the city of Sydney. We jump to present day. Esprea has captured and restrained her sire, who is in deep torpor in her haven. Esprea has plans to get the ultimate revenge. But there's something missing in her plan. Once Treadora awakes from torpor, she will be immensely hungry. And if Esprea is not too careful, she will probably attack her and consume her. And Esprea doesn't want this.
Yes.
So in the pursuit of what she aims to achieve, she goes out looking for a nice little snack for her sire. She wanders the city streets and finds a few people sort of lazily walking about the night, minding their own business. Esprea has a few options. Does she do the dangerous thing and attack and subdue the various people in this park close to her? haven where she could potentially be a masquerade breach waiting to happen? Or does she isolate and look for a set of humans to take for her own gains away from prying eyes?
Definitely want to look for someone who is segregated, potentially obscured. Definitely not with a group of people.
Give me a wits and awareness roll.
Okay. Let's... That is 6 successes.
6 successes.
Yeah.
This is a reasonably large park. There's a few options for people that are isolated. There's many different adults walking about the park, but they're all very segmented. You have your options.
Okay.
In the northwest corner of this quite large park, there is a lone middle-aged man who seems to be having a marital dispute on the phone. He's talking to the air, screaming at the air on the phone, very distracted by a conversation he's having with his partner, and it's not going well. In the center of the park, a young lady is staring at the moon, doing a little sketch on a notepad. Pretty absent-minded, also alone, isolated. In the southwest corner of the park, there is a teenager who is completely distracted by the headphones going into the phone and is jamming out to some probably hardcore rock music or metal music or something like that. She's dressed very in like a punk demeanor. Doing air guitar, randomly singing along to the music, completely off key. These are the options that Esprea has determined.
I might go for the artist sitting alone, I think.
How do you approach this model?
Okay. So they're sitting on a bench, right?
They're sitting on a bench. They're sitting on a bench, staring at the moon. Pretty oblivious of their surroundings. Not really paying much attention to anything else in the park. Just doing a little sketch of the moon and the clouds in the sky. If you approach reasonably covertly, you probably won't have much trouble with knocking them out, dragging them away.
Yeah.
No one's really going to notice either because it's very dark. It's probably about 1 a.m.
Yeah. I would like to stealth to, I guess, get behind them.
So you give me a strength plus stealth to see if you can approach and knock them out from behind and without anyone noticing.
I would, with knocking them out, I do have in my satchel, I do have some needles filled with a tranquilizing agent.
Yep,
So if I can
that'll
use
absolutely do the
one of
job.
Those, yeah.
But let's see if you can. Let's see if you manage to approach without
Yeah. So that's
disturbing them.
4. Yeah. Good. Battle 2. 4 successes.
And this will be a contested roll, actually. I'll roll their wits and awareness. How many successes was it, sorry?
4.
4?
Yeah.
And actually it doesn't actually, yeah, no, I will make that surprise. Roll an extra die because you were probably using silent movement here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, add an extra die to your pool. Just add an extra one. See if you get another success.
That was empty.
Okay, so you had a total of 4 successes.
Yes.
She's completely oblivious to you approaching and knocking her out. With a swift blow to the head, you knock her out and drag her away. You have some sort of a backpack satchel that you can put the body into and drag her away to
I would like to also state that I take her art supplies.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's somewhat given, yeah. So you pick up her backpack and all of her art supplies and stuff like that. You put that in your own carry luggage and
actual thing, yeah.
Yep. And then you drag her towards your haven. It takes a bit of time. But when you return to your haven, you notice that the entrance to your haven, the sewer grate, is rather obtusely bent and pretty mangled. There are scratch marks on the metal. This is reasonably good evidence that something has gone awry here.
I want to cautiously. I'll still bring I'll still drag the person. I'm not leaving them out in the open there. At least to inside. I will cautiously enter. I want to keep my guard up.
Okay. Give me a intelligence and investigation roll.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Yep.
Upon entering your haven, you place the body down. The entire way through the entrance to the sewer is covered in blood and scratch marks. It's pretty clear your sire has likely escaped. But as you put all your stuff down in your haven and go to the place where you had Treadora constrained, there's various smashed glass around where you had her restrained. The restraints are completely torn, as if a werewolf came to life and broke itself free. This was a violent struggle. You had her reasonably well restrained, but a kindred waking from torpor cannot usually be stopped.
I had more time.
Treadora has successfully escaped, And not too far from your haven is a grim sight. She devoured 5 people in that park. There's nothing left but lifeless bodies. And you have no idea where she's gone. She has started the process of meeting up with her various contacts after she's come to. We now return to Esprea, alone with an unconscious mortal in her haven. Esprea doesn't really understand how she managed to break free. She thinks that she might have had a contact that helped her escape, because it doesn't really make sense that there is so much blood and scratch marks all over the entrance tunnels to her haven. It doesn't seem right. It seems like she must have had help escaping. Do you wish to investigate?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay, give me a... Give me a wits and insight roll. And add an extra die.
Okay.
Essentially giving you a free advantage here because it's pretty obvious what's going on. So you would have more of a chance. You're kind of a bit on edge, so that would mean that you would be more acutely tuned to your kindred powers and able to see a bit more than you would normally see. You could also activate your various kindred powers to help you assist you here as well.
Yeah, heightened sense. Okay, yeah. Could I also do heightened sense? And I guess I'll do sight.
Let's start with the first roll.
Yeah. Written. Was it written?
Written
right?
inside. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 4, including an extra die.
And then if you want to activate heightened senses, wits and resolve.
And that one is a 5.
With your increased sense of sight, you're able to determine various different additional indicators that weren't previously that obvious in the tunnels leading towards your haven. And in the haven itself, there is traces of fur and traces of non-kindred, non-mortal blood. There's also kindred blood on the walls. It's pretty obvious that this kindred blood is likely Esprea, considering this abandoned sewer is quite far in the ground. There's no way that anything else could have broken in. Upon inspecting the various locks and stuff like that you have on the door to your haven, they've been smashed, but only in a way that is possible with brute force.
Smashed inwards or smashed outwards?
Smashed inwards. The various locks on the door, the various parts of the door, very much brute strength something broke in. And something clearly broke in order to save Treador from your haven and her inevitable fate. The random tufts of hair that you can see with your keen sense of sight would likely indicate that a werewolf helped Treador escape your haven. Now, Nosferatu don't commonly align themselves with creatures of such persuasion.
To be fair, we don't normally align ourselves with anyone besides our own.
Correct.
So that is...
So this is odd.
Not good. Yeah. How...
In terms of looking upon your haven, there isn't much more you can ascertain from the surrounding area. If you would want to investigate further, you will probably need to leave.
Yeah, I might have to leave my haven entirely. It's quite fucked up. And not including the massacre outside that either I need to clean up or...
Oh, the authorities have completely covered the scene in the park. It's a crime scene at this point.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you could do to clean up that mess.
Okay. I think I'm going to abandon my haven. I'm going to grab, I'm assuming I have a suitcase or something. What of
the unconscious human in the duffel bag?
That's true. I might definitely gonna take her art supplies. They can be useful. But what I might do after I pack up all my stuff, because she's gonna be out for a while, especially with the trank. I might, once I've packed all my important stuff from my haven, I might leave her near the crime scene, but just far enough that I won't be noticed, and I'll like leave her maybe poking out of a bush or under a tree enough that police investigating the area will be able to like find her.
Okay, so there's a few things here. There's no indication of blunt force trauma or anything like that. She was just knocked out by a pretty heavy tranquilizer. So I think we'll say it's implied that you took out the tranquilizer dart and then you closed the hole with your kindred saliva, much like you would do with bite marks.
A bite mark, yeah.
You then extract her from the duffel bag and leave her in a bush near the park. You know you don't want to approach the park at risk of and put yourself at risk of being a suspect. So instead, you leave her close to the park near a bush. And hopefully that action doesn't come back to haunt you.
Hopefully.
In the park, without needing to get too close, there's a bit of a crowd drawing. This is a different scene than prior you being here. If you wish to investigate further, you will need to forgo this lead. Because if you approach the park, you probably will get questioned.
Yeah. I want to avoid the park. I'm also carrying a duffel bag with all my shit in it. My important shit. So, not duffel bag. Like I said, well, it could be a duffel bag, I guess. either way, I'm carrying a heavy thing with like books and scrolls and just all sorts of lab equipment and whatnot. Anything important, as well as anything that won't give away any masquerade stuff as well. So any vampire stuff, any other, just pretty much everything I can force in my duffel bag, in my satchel, as much as I can.
You wouldn't want to have a lot of the stuff that's in there be investigated or ransacked by the authorities. So
definitely,
it's in your best interest to avoid the park at all costs.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and follow the lead that potentially Tradora may have left, but also I can be lugging around all this stuff. I guess I want to follow. I'll follow the Tradora's lead from what I can, at least for the time being.
Since you have
leads,
since it's not long since you activated it, you do have heightened sense of sight, still still active. With this, you're able to determine some track marks, for lack of a better term, away from the park. However, unfortunately, the authorities also can see these track marks.
Okay.
If you are wanting to not be discovered, you're going to need to shed some weight in your rucksack, and then probably attain some help with covertly investigating where Tradora might have gone.
Does Unseen Passage count for, like, obviously it counts for what I'm wearing, but would it count for if I have like a duffel bag over the shoulder, like I'm like lugging a giant bag?
Yeah, if you're activating Unseen Passage, it's mainly for your person. However, it's not like there's going to be a floating bag or anything like that. It will be somewhat obscured, and but generally with Unseen Passage and Cloak of Shadows, you would use those to sneak around without being seen, but your immediate person, you would probably have to put your bag down and stuff. The other thing I could offer is you could potentially go and put your various equipment in your haven for the time being. Make it slightly easier to
at risk them potentially finding the opening there, because it's not exactly discreet anymore being
This is true.
Yeah.
They might find the haven regardless, but I mean the haven is some ways it's about a 45-minute walk from from the park, so it's not too it's not too close to where you are, but like there's not much between your haven and the park. It's kind of just buildings, and it's late at night, so there's no one around. The only reason that Tradora went to that park was because it was the closest area where there would be people to nom on. So given the time of night, there's not much need to use Unseen Passage. It's pretty much a ghost town.
Okay, I will discreetly quickly go back to my haven and look for, trying to think of where in my haven would be a good place to potentially hide stuff, even if mortals or other kindred get in.
If you feel it necessary, you can do a strength and survival roll to try and unmangle the sewer grate thing, so that it doesn't look like it's been Tab within.
I could try, yeah, I might.
Let's do strength and survival if you want to do that.
Strength and survival. Oh, where is survival? Where are you? You are there. That is 4 successes.
With 4 successes, you easily manage to unbend this very mangled sewer grate to the point where it looks like it's just been maintained. It might have been kicked around or blown up by various sewer gases or something like that, but it's not it's very inconspicuous now. It's got some minor damage on it, but it's not too bad. So you're able to not need to ban your haven if you don't wish to anymore. And considering your haven is an abandoned sewer, it's not very likely that it would be at all a cause for concern by various authorities. So you've kind of solved this for the time being.
Yeah, that's a temporary solution. All right, I'll still somewhat hide duffel bag in the haven just in case, as an extra precaution. Either being, maybe behind some debris or enough that it's obscured in case something or someone does end up coming back. An extra precaution, but yeah, I'll leave my stuff there for the time being and then close the gate. Maybe even in the lock would have, I'm assuming, been smashed, like because it's busted open.
This is locks in terms of like your actual entrance to your haven proper have been mangled and stuff like that. But you can deal with those problems later. That's not really cause concern at the time being.
All right, yeah, I'll leave my stuff there for the time being, and I definitely want to follow this trail while it's fresh, relatively.
Okay. So do you leave your haven?
Yes.
Immediately after you close the sewer grate, Victoria suddenly appears. She says, Esprea, do you know about what happened with...
I have, I have my theories, and evidence does kind of back it up. Victoria's gone.
Right. Oh.
She got out. Outside
help. Oh.
And from what I can tell, unusual werewolves.
Oh, I might know what happened here. But there's something else you need to see. And Victoria escorts Esprea away. And that's where we end for this session. And thus concludes this Season 1 Epilogue episode of our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Sydney by Night. You can catch up on Season 1 in its entirety right here on YouTube. And stay tuned for Season 2, airing on Twitch very soon. Finally, remember this: the Camarilla never truly fades, and the Sabbat never truly die. They're just missing in action. I'll see you next time darkness falls. Bye for now.